In this video, we're going to build a full SaaS app using Bolt. So this is going to be a tutorial showing you from start to finish how to build this out. The app we're going to build is a time tracking SaaS app. So let's go ahead and write the prompt. I'm going to pause the video so I can write it. So here it is. I want to build a SaaS time tracking app. The app should include all basic features needed for a time tracking app. And then I'm giving it some of the features I want, user authentication, as well as payments. Let's do a one-time payment for now, but set us up to do subscriptions in the future if we want. I'm just going to say payments through Stripe. And let's make the design modern and sleek. And then what I'm going to do is click this enhance prompt. Before I do it, I'm just going to copy the prompt in case I don't like what it does from enhancing it. But I think I'm going to like it. It's just going to basically do what I did, but with a lot more detail. So let's see the features: time tracking, project and tax management, detailed time entry, timer history, reporting and analytics. I guess we can just keep everything. I'm going to remove team management for now because I just don't feel like I want to include that in this initial prompt. User authentication. That looks good. Some of this stuff I'm just going to delete because we can do it later. Password reset, email verification, delete that. Role-based access, I'm going to delete that as well for now. Stripe, one time. Okay, that's what I want. And everything else looks good. Additional requirements. I don't need to worry right now about GDPR, data backup, error logging. I guess I can keep that. Performance, cross-browser, documentation. That sounds good. Okay, so let's go ahead and send that initial prompt, and we're going to let Bolt go ahead and start generating our app. So I'll pause the video and we'll come back once we have our first generation here. So while this is generating, let me tell you a little bit more about Bolt and the editor and how it works. So on the left side, we have our chat. This is where you're going to prompt what it's going to build. And you're going to learn in this video some tips and tricks about how to best prompt and debug. Debugging is a big thing you're going to do. It's going to build something, you're going to test it, you're going to find out there's an error, and then you're going to fix it. Up on the top here, you can change the name. You can switch from private to public projects. We have the ability to export the code, download it, or open it in StackBlitz, which is the company that Bolt used to be, actually, and then StackBlitz created Bolt. Now Bolt is getting kind of what they're doing to really grow. We're going to be able to connect to Supabase later. Supabase is basically a database that allows us to save data, have user authentication, takes care of a lot of user authentications like signing in, for example, and then deploying the app so it's live on the internet. Okay, great. So it says it basically created the initial parts of the app, and now it's saying we need to add our Supabase project and connect. So it's just telling us right here just to click that connection. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now, I'm just going to confirm. So Supabase, I've already created a Supabase account. If you don't have one, do that. And then if you go to settings here, under applications here, you can see you just press that connect button next to Supabase, and then it's going to link your account. And you should be able to use the free version of Supabase for up to 2 projects. So you should be able to follow along with that. So go ahead and pause the video, set up Supabase if you want. Netlify allows you to connect and just make it easier to deploy your app. Netlify essentially like hosts your app, basically. The other thing I want to show you, if you're new here, feature previews. It's possible by the time you're watching this video, this won't be a preview, it'll just be part of it. But I have diffs turned on, which means Bolt will essentially edit existing files instead of rewriting the entire file every time you make a change. Sometimes you'll run into an issue where it's not able to solve the problem. And when that happens, you'll want to uncheck diffs, rerun it, have it rewrite everything, and then you can turn it back on. So just kind of know that's the feature that I have turned on right now. Okay, so it says it wants me to approve the initial migration. That's essentially setting up the database. So it looks like it did. For some reason, it still has this initial prompt. So I'm going to delete that from the left side. So I like how it kind of set this up. Let's click sign in, see if that works. Okay, cool. Let's put in my name, kind of create an account here, click sign up. And it worked. It says account created. Please check your email to verify your account, but we don't have to worry about that right now. This looks pretty good. Honestly, I'm really pretty impressed with how well it did on just this first generation here. So let's click different pages. Let's click on reports. None of that is working yet. Can I do any building in Bolt? Can I start a timer? No, because I need to create a project first. Okay, so there's definitely some more work to do to make sure this is all working correctly. So what I want to do is say I could successfully sign in. Now let's make sure all the functionality works in the app, including starting a project, timer, reports, and settings. Okay. So it says we have the database schema set up, but we need to ensure there's at least one project available for users to time track. Again, let me help you test and enhance the functionality. So it's going to go ahead and start building that. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video while it does that. Okay, so Bolt just telling us there's a potential problem. This happens pretty often, and when that happens, you just go ahead and click resolve. So here it figured out what the issue was. What really excites me about these platforms is as these AI models get better, I have a feeling we're going to see less and less of these errors, and it's just going to get it right on the first time. So I'm going to click apply changes. And okay, we have another issue. Let's attempt fix. So this is the one way that debugging will happen is it'll kind of notice it and then you ask it to fix it. Sometimes you keep doing that over and over again and the same issue comes up. When that happens, you want to have a prompt, something like, hey, this is happening multiple times. Think about it in a different way. Do it in a simpler way. Things like that. But let's see. So here it's made improvements. It's doing things that are just important to make sure there's no errors, like adding user ID when creating projects, fixing logic, cleaning up the code, and fixing policy violations, things like that. So now to verify the fix, sign out, sign back in. I don't know if I have to do that because it looks like it kind of created a project. And then time tracking. Okay, so let's say we're going to create time tracking. This is Bolt AI video tutorial recording. That's what I'm doing right now. Click start. No. Oh, it actually did work, but I accidentally stopped it. So let's have those go away. So that's it. Okay, less than 5 seconds. So let me try that one more time. I'm going to delete it. I'm just going to say, can we move the toast notifications to the bottom left or right? Because it's kind of in the way on the top. So it's just going to move that really quickly. And if it's a small change, that usually happens really fast. Okay, so let's paste that in again. Bolt AI video tutorial recording. I'll click start. And yep, on the bottom, timer started. Cool. So what I would like to do, this is not bad. I would like to have when a timer is started, please show the active task with a timer that updates every second. Before I ask for that request, let's just stop it. And then here we go. I can see the duration, start time. Cool. So that was all good. The other thing I want to do is let's make sure that the text in this table is white because I can't see it. And I'm going to add a screenshot. So that's something that's really nice. Just take a screenshot, paste it in. I'm going to say also, please update the text color in the table to white or a light color. Don't have to be because this is kind of gray. So it's more easily visible. Okay. So let me pause the video, let it do that. Okay, so let's see how it does this time. So why don't I say Bolt video recording 2. Click start. And here we go on the top. It has the project, Bolt video, and it has this little less than, okay, so the timer. And it's updating, less than 20. So that's kind of cool. So it's working. I don't love the design. So let me say, let's improve the design of the active timer. Improve, make it 10 times better. Sometimes it's as simple as something like that. So just kind of telling it to do it better, and then it's going to take that and just improve it. So let's see how that works. Okay, there's just a problem. So we'll attempt the fix. Should be able to fix that pretty easily. All right, let's test it again. Test 2, start. And there we go. That's much better. We have a timer running when it started. This is much more like what I was hoping for. Looks like it just sometimes when you're kind of testing, it just reloaded essentially. But that doesn't have anything to do with the functionality. But yeah, so now it's running, which is really cool. And then I can just go ahead and hit stop, and then it gets added to our list here. And it looks like I can also, there's an edit, but the edit doesn't work. So let's add that functionality. So I'll say the edit feature of the time tracking row doesn't work. So let's make sure editing works correctly. Okay, so now if I go ahead and click edit, it looks like I can change the name, just add whatever, and there we go. Okay, perfect, cool. So let's see if the other features work. So if I click reports, doesn't seem like anything happens, and settings, nothing happens. So let's now make sure the reports page works, the settings page works, and I can also add new projects. Because right now there's only one project that I can choose from. So let's let it implement that. I'm going to pause the video. All right, so we're back here. Now I can go to the reports tab, although it doesn't seem like it's actually pulling in the correct data. Settings, now I can create new projects. So I'm going to say YouTube recording as an example, make it yellow, add a project. And if I go back to the timer, it looks like I can now have different projects, which is nice. So I'm going to say this all works. Can you just make sure the reporting tab works? I don't see the correct projects or time coming in. So let's let it build that out. Just says we need to fetch projects and properly calculate time statistics. So I don't know why it doesn't do all of this on the first try. And this is, again, something that I think as the models get better and also as Bolt just improves, that it's going to do some of this on its own. So you don't have to test, or you'll still have to test, but it'll get more of it right away. So let's see what this came up with here. It's just loading. Refresh the page. Okay, reports. There is an error, so let's attempt the fix. That happens sometimes when you're trying to test something. It says we're trying to access weekly data before it is initialized. All right, cool. So let's go back to reports. All right, we're getting an issue again. Let's attempt the fix. And I'm hoping that this is a different error. Yeah, get date range, because that happens. If it was the same error, I'd be more concerned because that means it didn't solve it. But it's usually a good thing when you get different errors. All right, cool. So here we are. We're on reports. Awesome. It created this chart. It tells us the time. You can change it by month, week, year. Okay, great. This is working really well. So let me switch to a second project real quick and just see what happens. So I'm going to say test 4. Doesn't really matter. Let's just let this run. I'll let it run for about 20 seconds. I'll pause the video. All right, so it's been about 20 seconds. Let's stop. And cool. It has the different color, which is kind of awesome. Half a minute. Let's go back to reports. And there we go. Now it has both projects separated out. That's kind of great. Cool. And it's still under an hour because it's just such a small amount. So it's rounding to 0. But I assume that this would work if it was a longer period of time of time tracking. So that's pretty cool. The next thing that I want to do is integrate Stripe. Because right now we've basically built a micro SaaS app already. but it's free. So let's say we wanted to charge for this. So we need to add a Stripe integration and then a paywall. So people have to pay to access this piece of software. So let's say I want to integrate Stripe. So people have to pay to access the software. Let's paywall the ability to add more than, we can always change this in the future, but more than 5 minutes of tracked time. Or instead of doing that, more than 5 entries. After 5 entries, the user has to pay $50 to unlock one time to unlock a lifetime membership on the app and get unlimited entries. Okay, so this is like the last thing we need to do. I guess otherwise, maybe one more thing we'll do after this is have it build a landing page just so we have like the full SaaS app. But this is going really well. I'm actually really excited about this. So I went over to Stripe, and if you go to the top left and drop down, you'll be able to select Create Sandbox. So I went ahead and created a sandbox here that allows you to kind of get test keys and very easily test a Stripe integration. So you want to make sure you do that on Stripe, create an account, and create a sandbox. Let's go back to Bolt. We're just going to have to apply this migration and then fix the issues. It's basically adding a way to track user subscription status, Stripe integration with one-time payment flow, subscription status checks, etc. Okay, cool, awesome. And it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because I already have 5 entries, it's asking me to upgrade to premium. It looks like there's still some problems, so I'll attempt that fix. I'm going to pause here. I ran into some issues setting up Stripe with Bolt, and this is something that I'm confident Bolt is going to fix pretty soon, but I don't want to get bogged down in this video on that. So hopefully this was a helpful tutorial to get you started. And again, I'm confident that Stripe is going to be easier to connect to Bolt very soon to make it easy to add that paywall so users can actually pay. I do have some videos on how to connect Stripe with Lovable, which I did find a little bit easier. So check those out. Subscribe to our channel to get all of our future videos right here for free. If you have any questions at all, leave a comment below. If there's anything you want us to record in the future, leave a comment below as well. And if you liked this video, please like it. That really helps the video show up for other people, so as many people as possible can see this tutorial. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.